Hello, guys. Welcome to another Obsession special. Today, I'm with Andy Mitten. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you, Kian. Good to join you.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. I did speak to you initially at Old Trafford and wanted to get you on here. I thought it would be a great interview. Just going to be asking around 5 questions today, maybe around six, 7 even. We're going to be recording for around 20 minutes, and it's going to be a great interview. So the first question, I'm not sure if you've seen over the past 24 hours, there's been some more news about the European Super League and the proposals around that. And it doesn't seem to be going away. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's just going to be brushed under the carpet and the Premier League clubs will seem to ignore it? Or what do you think is going to happen?
The talk is still there because you have clubs like Juventus, Barcelona, and Real Madrid who want the Super League to happen. And they want it to happen because they're fearful of the increasing financial power of the Premier League. And they think that Europe's biggest clubs should be playing each other more often and they should be getting a big piece of that pie. The Premier League teams did initially indicate that they were willing to join up, but their domestic deals for television and international television deals for the Premier League, they're far bigger than those enjoyed by La Liga or Serie A or Ligue 1 or any other league. So they're not under the same pressure to join it. I think what will happen is what we're seeing happen in that the Champions League format will be expanded. So there's more games. So as from 2024, you're going to see 10 games before Christmas as opposed to 6 group games at the moment. It's going to move into a league table system. So this will satisfy some of the demands from clubs for more games and more money. On one hand, I can see why clubs like Barcelona feel they should be playing Manchester United more than once in a decade. You've got these two clubs, 2 of the 3 biggest clubs in the world, who meet in on average once every 10 years in competition, and yet they're playing each other far more often than that in pre-season friendlies, usually in the United States. So I can see that on one level that's bizarre. I objected to the original Super League idea because I didn't like the concepts of no relegation. I think one of the great things about football is that teams can go up and down. We've seen this week Luton Town playing Chelsea in the FA Cup, giving them a good game. As recently as 2014, Luton were a non-league team. And 20 years before that, they'd been a top flight team winning trophies. So football can be a real roller coaster if you don't look after your club's not run well, you can sink. And there's lots of clubs playing non-league football now who are good examples of that. But I like the fact that they can rise as well. I don't like a glass ceiling. I don't think it's for anybody to say that Tottenham should be in a European Super League, for example, when Tottenham don't win any trophies. So I'm not a fan of the European Super League idea. I think there will still be pressures from the clubs that I've mentioned for more changes, but without the English teams and without Bayern Munich and PSG, who weren't going to sign up to it, I think that they will struggle.
Yeah.
I also think that a fan-led review from the government bringing in further legislation will be a good thing to stop things like this happening.
Definitely. With Boris Johnson, obviously, he sort of threatened to throw a legislation, sort of metaphorical bomb on the clubs when it was happening. And onto Man United, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about the manager situation and the permanent manager situation, and there's been further talk last night about the manager situation around Erik ten Hag, and the night before as well. Now, my most preferred will be Erik ten Hag, but what I'm asking you is, who's your most preferred manager, and why, and who do you think is most likely?
If I had a choice of any manager at the moment, it would be Luis Enrique, the Spain manager. I don't think he'll be taking it this year because he's going to be managing Spain in the World Cup. And for personal and professional reasons, I think he will stay in Spain because of that. Why him? Great player, great manager, managed at huge clubs, led Barcelona to the treble, done well with Spain. I like the football that his teams play. I think he can handle the pressure of being at a huge club because he has done that. He's also managed at Roma as well. And at the moment, I wouldn't say he's a forerunner because he's the least gettable, unless you're going to mention people like Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola, who'll be even less likely to be signed by Manchester United. So we keep seeing these two names, Mauricio Pochettino and Ten Hag, who's done exceptionally well at Ajax. When I see his name, it always makes me smile because one of the best games I've seen in recent years is his team beating Real Madrid away in the Champions League. I was in the stadium and I spoke to Dutch journalists before that game, and they were saying how he was likely to be sacked because he wasn't doing a good job, because he wasn't a good communicator. So I'm seeing all these Man United fans now saying, oh, he's the best thing ever. And I'm thinking, hey, he might well be.
Yeah.
But Ajax fans certainly weren't thinking that a couple of years ago. Now he's done really, really well since then. And I think he's matured as a manager. I think Manchester United will be attractive to him. Same with Pochettino, although he's living in Paris, which is not an unattractive city to live in, and he's managing PSG, who've got a far better team than Manchester United at the moment. So I'm not privy to the internal politics of PSG as to whether he's going to leave or not. I think he's always been like the idea of going back to England, and Manchester United are the biggest club in England. And I think the job appeals to the ego of many manager. Can you make Manchester United great again? But it's a complex club to work at. What I know for a fact is that United are doing what they consider to be due diligence, led by John Murta, to make the right appointment. Beyond that, I don't know anymore. There's been no talks as yet with anybody, and no decision has been made yet. So that I'll stick to them facts. Situation is going to change. You're going to keep seeing more stories as potential candidates jockey for position and leak stuff to the media, and also as the media look for easy hits from transfer junkies who want to know what's going to happen.
Definitely, I can see that. I can definitely agree with that. Now, I think one thing that I think is a very good decision from Manchester United is getting Ranić into the consultancy role. When that happens, obviously, he's currently temporary manager. Now, how do you think that will work? And especially in the first year or two, even when it's settling in and when we're all getting used to it and things like that, and the club are getting used to it, how do you think that will work? Because I remember, I think Jose Mourinho, when he previously managed us, has said there's only Jose Mourinho and Ed Woodward, for example, within the club. Obviously, it won't be that straightforward, but how do you think it will work?
Well, United's structure has changed since Jose Mourinho left the club. It's a bigger structure now. I mentioned John Murta, mentioned Darren Fletcher as well. But there is a hierarchy. Richard Arnold is the most senior executive based in England now, working under Joe Glazer. The deal which Ralph Rangnick has signed is to stay for a 2-year consultancy role once the interim manager position has ended. I think his influence is still fluid, in so much as if he wins the Champions League this year with United, then people will bow to his opinion far more than if he finishes 6th. And people will be saying,
definitely,
this guy's a blagger. He's come from Germany, having not coached enough in recent years.
Definitely a difficult job, though, isn't it?
It's difficult. I think, to be fair to Ralph Rangnick, his best work has been done when he's been a sporting director. That's why you've seen people like Jurgen Klopp and Thomas Tuchel talk so admiringly of him. And he's clearly got something, and he impressed in the interviews for the United job. And I think he communicates well when he does media, and he's doing all right so far, because it's very difficult for him as well. But I feel that what happens this season will determine his future role and how much power he gets. Because if United finish 7th this season or don't qualify for Europe, his stock will be significantly lower than if they do qualify for the Champions League and win the Champions League this season, which is unlikely.
I've been saying since Ronaldo scored against Villarreal at home, we're going to win the Champions League.
I
So
hope you're right.
I'm not going to try and dampen my hopes on that. We'll go into the Derby Day. Obviously, we've got Derby Day coming up in a few days. I'm kind of looking forward to it, kind of dreading it after last time. I just want to get your thoughts on that game and the score predictions, because I'm going to predict 2-0, as obviously we beat them 2-0 at the Etihad last season. We are unbeaten at the Etihad for quite a few years. I think we've only lost once in quite a few years now. I think it's 5 or 6 years. Now, I think that it's definitely a good record to have when going there. Most teams don't have that when going there. What is your score prediction?
5-0 to United in my dreams. I think it's going to be really difficult because Manchester City, as we saw the game at Old Trafford, are capable of dominating Manchester United. But as you said, United's results have been very good playing away at City. So City will be clear favourites, but they've been clear favourites in every game at the Etihad in recent years, and some of Manchester United's best results have been in that game. When the game starts, I'll, in my sick mind, think that Manchester United can win it.
We all do,
and they've
yeah.
let me down in recent years in that fixture. But really, the team I'm watching at the moment and the way Manchester City are playing, I think it's going to be really difficult.
Definitely be difficult. Now, for next season, I've got two minds about next season. I'm kind of thinking, in a way, if we don't qualify for Europe, it can give the future manager, whether that's Ten Hag, Pochettino, whoever that is, a chance to concentrate on the league and concentrate on getting new players in and concentrate on building their own squad. But then I've got a mind where it's like, we will have a lot of games, but I do love seeing the European games, and obviously maybe we'll get some more money if it like to spend if we qualify for Europe. Now, I want to get your expectations on next season, the realistic expectations.
It depends on this season. If
Definitely.
United get into the Champions League, there will be more money for players. That's natural because you've got guaranteed incomes promised from being in the Champions League, and also a club will be more attractive to potential signings if they can offer Champions League football. United's still attractive anyway. If the new manager comes in, he's going to need time to do his job. I think that every manager should get 2 years to build their squad and build their ideas. That's not happened with some at Manchester United and has happened with others, but none of them have come close to winning the league title. I think you'll see players move out and more players move in. People talk about ripping it up and starting it again. It just doesn't happen overnight. It takes several cycles, and we've been through this cycle now with 4 or 5 different managers. So I don't think there'll be any quick fixes. I think United fans will just look for continuing signs of improvement, which we were getting under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer until the autumn of this season. The autumn of 21, when it just imploded and results just collapsed and were nowhere near good enough, and he lost his job as a result of that.
Yeah, definitely. I was definitely gutted to see Solskjaer lose his job. I'm a big. I'm sure if you've ever seen my Twitter profile, I'm a big fan of Solskjaer. Always have been since obviously I was very young. But in terms of transfers, now there's a lot of talk about a winger, and Marcus Rashford is one of my favourite players in world football currently. I know he's not on form at all. But there's a lot of talk about Anthony from Ajax, obviously who is managed under Erik Ten Hag. Now, can you see what positions? I know obviously there's the obvious one where they hold a midfielder, but can you see what positions we're going to look to fill in the summer? Because there's talk of a centre back, a holding midfielder, a winger.
Yeah, there's talk of 300 different players coming to Manchester United.
Yeah.
Why is there such talk? Well, one, because transfer talk. Some fans are addicted to transfer talk, to the point that I think they'd rather read about transfers than matches. So there are elements of the media who will fuel that, knowing that they'll get easy clicks. United will probably sign 3 players. If recent seasons have been anything to go by, you mentioned central midfield. Common sense tells you that Nemanja Matic isn't getting any younger. You've got players who are out of contract as well, and the players who are playing there have not been to the levels of previous central midfield greats for Manchester United. So that's why you see people like Declan Rice, who Manchester United do like. But when I say Manchester United like him, well, Ollie Solskjaer certainly liked him, and some of the coaches around him certainly liked him. But a new manager might not like him, and the new manager will definitely have an influence on who comes in. If they can get an agreement, a back channel agreement for who the new manager is, he may give him a list of players who he likes, or it may come from the club who say, we've identified these players. This is our target 1, 2, and 3. And that's how United work. They're often going for multiple players at the same time. You've got the lads like Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard, who are out of contract. Looks unlikely that they will stay from where we are now, but anything can happen. If Paul Pogba looks around and sees that his best offer is at Manchester United, he might well stay. So it's a bit confusing for fans, and it's not clear cut at all, because a new manager's going to come in.
Definitely, yeah.
He's not been appointed yet. So fans have got these ideas of players who'd like to come in, and they have an idealised 11 of what Manchester United might look like next season. Unfortunately, we're not living in an ideal world where that's going to be so simple to predict.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. Now, with Dean Henderson, obviously, David De Gea has been absolutely unstoppable this season. He's been amazing. He's been one of our standout players, if not our standout player. Now, with Dean Henderson, he is a player that I actually like. I also like De Gea as well. But with Dean Henderson, do you think it's going to be time for him to move out of United, or do you think he's going to be given another chance under another manager? Because there's a lot of talk about Sam Johnston also agreeing to sign back for Manchester United.
I think Dean would probably move if he's not the first choice goalkeeper. He's good enough to be a first choice goalkeeper for a good Premier League team. So why would he want to sit on a bench at Manchester United? It's just common sense.
Yeah.
It's the reason why Sam Johnson left Manchester United in the first place. He wanted to play football, and he did well. He did well at Villa. He did well at West Brom. He did well in the Premier League with West Brom. He moved up to playing for England. So would Sam want to be a number 2? I'm not sure of that, because he's good enough to be a number 1. But then West Brom are not coming up this season from where we're looking at the moment. They're really struggling. So Sam lives in Manchester. He obviously got a great affection with the club. Gets on well with David De Gea, but footballers tend to want to play football. So I think if Dean moves on, as I would expect him to, you're going to need an experienced number 2 who's probably going to be able to play games. Tom Heaton's there. He's a very popular lad. He trains really well. I think he's a good goalkeeper as well. But he's 35 now. You might argue that that's fine and he can do the job, but I think that's one for the manager. I would expect a new number 2 to come in.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for the interview as well. I do want to say it was nice meeting you at Old Trafford, and it's nice speaking to you here as well. I hope good luck for the future and everything like that, as I say to all the guests.
Yeah, it's fine. It's been nice to talk to you as well. And
thank you.
Good luck with your future.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll end that recording there, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And just to let you know, I will be live tomorrow at 2:45 p.m. So remember to tune into that, and take care.